In other world news, he's preached goodwill, humility, and service, and he's leading by example. But the Pope went to jail today. Calm down. He went to jail to wash the feet of young prisoners, many of them Muslims and atheists, on this Holy Thursday.
It's time for daily prayers for these Muslim worshippers. But it's not the local mosque they're heading to.
Allah.
This lunchtime in the Church of St. John's, the familiar sound of hymns has been replaced by Islamic prayer. The Muslim community has been allowed to worship here up to 5 times each day. Hundreds of Muslim worshippers use this chapel and other areas around the church each week for prayers. There wasn't enough room in the mosque next door, and many were having to pray outside in the streets until this church opened its doors for them.
Worship and praise belong to you, maker of light and darkness.
It was the priest who grew up in India, surrounded by different faiths, who found a solution for his neighbors.
When I went out and I saw the brothers in the Islamic community standing outside and praying, I thought, I cannot walk past. This is my neighbor, and I have to respond. So I invited the members of the Islamic community to come and use the church for worship.
Now, when this tiny mosque gets overcrowded, such as during Friday prayers, worshippers who can't squeeze in just need to make the short journey to St. John's. The local diocese believes this may be the only place in the country where Christians and Muslims share the same place of worship.
On the tradition, previous popes have chosen to wash the feet of other priests inside a Roman basilica, but that doesn't square with the new pope's no-frills style. Call it Pope and change. Today in Rome, instead of delivering Mass to a packed cathedral, new Pope Francis went to prison. There he washed the feet of 12 out of nearly 50 inmates of a juvenile detention center, commemorating the act of Jesus washing his disciples' feet. The images today intended to signal how Francis is mixing things up at the Vatican by putting the poor front and center and by pursuing more modest trappings. Kicked off Holy Week by riding through St. Peter's Square on Palm Sunday in a Pope-mobile without bulletproof glass. Hopping out to greet the faithful and kiss seemingly every baby in sight. His sermons, simple and to the point. A departure from his, shall we say, more verbose predecessor, Benedict XVI.
He has a pastor's heart. In that sense, he's probably more of a journeyman than he is a highly accomplished scholar. In the process, we'll all get on board with the journeyman, and they make the world work.
Monsignor Kevin Irwin is a theology professor at the Catholic University of America. He says the changes are adding up. Papal limo? No. Francis is still riding the bus. Handmade red leather shoes? Those are gone too. And Tuesday, Francis said no thanks to the palatial papal apartment, sticking instead to a small suite at the Vatican guest residence. Fitting for a pope who said his papacy would put the poor first.
At the same time, I think there's a level of concern about the morally, spiritually impoverishment that we might be experiencing even in the developed countries. So those are both things on his radar screen, but clearly the economically poor will be advantaged in this papacy.
These shifts in tone are not the end. Irwin says the new pope is poised to shake up the Vatican establishment.
During Easter, we all pray hard and devote ourselves to the Lord. But after that, Act 2 is going to be the personnel changes he makes. And I have a suspicion he's a very decisive man who will make those changes and want them to be for the best of the church. But he'll do them fairly quickly.